Christmas, you filthy beasts. Welcome in. The Bill Mullane Show, episode 29. Your Christmas miracle come true. Now, I know the title of the show, Going Back to Prison for Christmas. The whole episode, folks, is not about prison. Don't worry. I'm not going to bombard you with that. You probably already feel like you're in jail since you hit play on this thing. Now you feel like you're locked in, and you should be. Absolutely. 100% keyed up, ready to roll, locked into the Bill Mullane Show. Probably the last episode of the year. So you know what? I'm going to get all this shit out of the way right now before I talk about what I feel needs to be talked about. Okay? So I hope you're listening. If you are, first things first, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show if you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening on wherever you're listening. Subscribe to it, man. Ladies, I probably don't have too many ladies listening. Maybe those who've seen my beautiful face might feel the need to check it out. And then they hear me and they go, yeah, never mind him. But maybe I can change that. Maybe I can change your mind. That's what I'm here to do. Change minds, shape minds. Look, this show has come a long way since May. I know if you've been listening, you're probably like, nah, Bill, it hasn't. But it has, okay? And I feel like there's even more directions that this is going. The end of this year, next week I am going to do what I talked about a little while ago. And when I told you all that I'm going to release a best of. Ha! Nice. Best of the Bill Mullane Show. That'll be for you next week. I am actually going to put together a few things to kind of cap it up because this particular podcast with this title and this name, it might be just a 2024 phenomenon, because it might drip slowly into a show that I've been wanting to create and would probably take the place of this as far as time goes. And because really, do I want to continue personal journaling? Just babbling to you and talking. I love to babble, but I do love to babble about things that people might actually care more about. I do find that entertaining and exciting and fun. And you might be thinking, well, who are you to tell us anything? Well, I'm going to talk to you about that right now shortly as we slide into what might be the inklings of what this might transform into next year, which is a podcast I've been haunted by the title of, called What If and Then What? I even got the merch already set. So on the front of the shirt, it says, What If? And then on the back, it says, And Then What? Yeah, I know. You're thinking, how does this guy just come up with these things? I'm channeling my inner being. That's to bring you this brilliance. And actually, that's perfect because that's what I want to talk about. What qualifies me to talk about anything? Well, listen, I have been a meditator for 34 years. I really started when I was about 5 years old, unknowingly doing so. My meditations didn't really pick up until my late 20s, but in between time, I had out-of-body experiences. I've studied multiple religions. I have a metaphysical teacher, and I listen to my spirit guides. I channel my higher mind by the name of Elias, and this is all real shit, people. If this is your first time hearing me, you're like, what the... Listen, I know I've messed around a lot on the show, and today the song isn't meant to be taken all seriously. It's a Christmas carol. Happy to give you my Christmas carol that I wrote years ago. But before getting to that, I'm going to talk about, what's on everyone's mind, really, something relevant. And this comes with the New Jersey drones and orbs. So let's discuss this, all right? Because this is the type of topic that will be on What If and Then What, should that show materialize that way and be called that. So what it is now... and this is where my qualifications come in, through my metaphysical teacher and other studies. I can tell you, and I'm thinking about this on the show coming up, being mostly discussing and preparation for contact with extraterrestrials. So if you're interested in that, as much as I am, then you may be in store for some fun conversations. And I'm thinking of having other people on to discuss this, do kind of a more of an interview style podcast next year. I've been thinking about drifting it off into that way. And maybe I'll still keep this live and bring you my personal journalings. I got some other things I can hash through in my life. A lot of shit I haven't spoken about on here yet. So, for Christmas this year, I want to gift to you not just my song, which you will get later, but this might be an entire episode devoted to the idea of getting ready for contact, which is going to happen. And if this is your first time hearing it, I'm kind of surprised because this information has been around for a while from multiple sources. But it's going to happen by 2027. So what we are witnessing in New Jersey, there's a lot of speculation. And I've listened to some people who've spoken on this that are more involved with the government and military. There are a lot of them who say there is absolutely nothing going on. Now, the latest, and they claim they don't own the drones. But I did hear one person who I guess you could say whistleblower-ish, if you can believe the guy. But he was seasoned military intelligence and spoke on how these drones are there to detect radiation. That is why they are flying so low. Now, this very well can be true. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have some sort of inside knowledge with our government or military or anything else. I'm not even in New Jersey. I'm a state away. But I can tell you that there is a very good chance that this person's speaking the truth, that these drones are detecting radiation, flying so low for that purpose. I believe you can look at it that way. However, this doesn't take into account the orbs that everyone has been seeing and that you can see for yourself. The footages are all out there. There's one fantastic video of an orange orb, relatively stationary, and it's approached by one of these drones and immediately shoots it down. Now, at this point, I believe there's more than one of these videos now, but it seems to sort of enter the orb, or at least very close to it, and then it's just surrounded by it. There's like a small flash, and the drone just plummets, right? So you have a lot of people who are speaking now, calling this a battle, and that there's a battle going between these orbs, which people believe are UAPs, which are UAPs, but they believe they're extraterrestrial in nature, and they are shooting down, having a battle with these human-made drones. I've got something else to float by you, and so it's going to take a minute to explain it, but stick with me, okay? The orbs are not exactly extraterrestrial. The orbs themselves are a sort of conscious beings. They're life forms, energy light forms. These are the same orbs that, whether you know this or not, your cats are very in tune to seeing. And you ever watch them chase them around with their eyes? I don't know about most people, but most people I've encountered, I'd say. Of course, maybe it's the circles I run in, but most people I've encountered or spoken with about this have seen orbs themselves. I've seen them before, throughout my life. And people say, oh, those are spirits. Exactly. You can look at it that way. Interdimensional energy light beings that exist. And what is happening is, as we are nearing 2027, the collective conscious of humanity is raising. See, that is the only way that contact is allowed to occur. We have to bring ourselves up to a place where we are willing to understand what this really is, what you really are. Because it all starts on the inside, as I've repeated on this show, and I'm sure you've heard many times in your life at this point, possibly. If you're listening to this, you probably have heard that the revolution begins on the inside. This is not a metaphor or anything like that. It's about changing yourself, because the first understanding here to really, really let sink in is that you never change the world you're on. What you actually do is you actually change yourself. You be the change you wish to see, as Gandhi spoke, and you actually shift to a parallel, simultaneously existing Earth that is more representative of the state of being that you are now creating as you shift your state of being. All Earths exist right here, right now. This is the importance of being present. There is nowhere else. There is no place to go. There is no other time. You can experience what seems to be other times, and we can create linearity, and we can create continuity. These are experiences we can all have within existence, because everything exists. Anything that exists, exists. Anything you can imagine exists. It all exists right here, right now. And I believe this is becoming much, much more well known. And that's why it feels like, I've hesitated to really even do this show that much, because it's like, who are you, Bill? Why? I've heard this shit. Well, maybe you haven't heard it from my perspective, and maybe my perspective can help you shape yours, and maybe I can gift you those epiphanies I spoke about months and months ago. So the idea here to understand is that you are constantly shifting through parallel realities, parallel Earths. And as we raise our collective conscious, which you can view as separate from your conscious, although it's all really part of the same one, we can dip into these things as time goes on, which is why I'm shifting the show, I think, in this direction, because there's just so much to really explain. And it'd be easier to do when someone else is asking a question, instead of me just dipping and diving around my knowledge bank, or just, skidding across the Akashic records, or tuning into whatever I possibly can, downloading from Elias, randomly, sporadically. I want to keep people with me. You understand? I want you to be on, and I know how I go, how I speak. I can bounce all over the place and ramble, and kind of doing it now. Hopefully you haven't shut this off yet. I'm getting to the drones. I haven't forgotten what we're talking about here, or what I'm yapping about. So we've established that how we raise our conscious to shift to an already existing world. That's how you make changes, quote unquote, in your reality. You're making visible what is already there, but you are currently not on the same wavelength with. My strongest teacher in this would explain it as, you can think of frequencies as television stations. You know that when you're watching one television show and you change channels, that the show you changed from didn't go anywhere. It's still there. You're just not tuned to it anymore. Same type of thing. This is the way existence is structured. So if that's the first time you're hearing that analogy, hopefully okay, that's what that means. But I don't want to just repeat the things that my teacher has spoken of. I have not heard any of his wisdom on the drones. So here's my thoughts as we get to that. In order for contact to happen, the reason contact hasn't happened yet, or it has, but not open contact with society, is people don't understand that the frequency, the vibration, the level that other species radiate at, now not all extraterrestrials, but ones that can make contact with us, the frequency they radiate at, that they give off, is so strong that when you come into contact with it, it sort of absorbs your identity. And you can lose your identity, and when something like that happens, you are immediately forced to confront all of everything that you are, which contains all negative and positive possibilities and realities and understandings, emotions. And so a lot of people confronted with that can't handle it. You can go into a complete breakdown and cause mass hysteria and panic just from that. Because even though many of us think we're ready, think we know, it's a gradual thing that has to occur. That said, if it's a gradual process that has to occur in order for open contact to occur, if we need to go through that process, let's look at that process itself. And here's my idea, that the drones and the orbs are, in a battle, You can call it that, but I feel like it's more of a show. It's a show orchestrated between, we are raising our conscious enough to where we are seeing more of these orbs. We're just tuning into it. And as we're tuning into it, the, I suppose, quote unquote, extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings, whichever first make contact first. I preach too much. I believe it's the Yael that you have probably heard of, or the Pleiadians, which I'm sure you may have heard of. But let me not speculate too much on that. And more so, whatever beings we are about to make contact with are basically putting on a show to warm us up into the understanding that our skies are a busy place as we go through different dimensions and different frequencies of experience and reality. We are all here all the time, all at once. Everything is happening here and now. And we are being prepared for contact. And very easily, very, very possibly, the beings that are orchestrating this show, whichever they are, it could easily be taking a sort of measurements or readings or gauging our response to it, because everything is about the way you respond. This is something you've probably heard, maybe not in this context, but the idea that life is, 1% what happens to you, 99 how you respond. It's really more, 0.001% what happens. It's all about the way you respond that creates and shapes your reality. That's what's meant by you create your own reality. The way you respond to your circumstances, regardless of how they look. So looking at this and viewing this, they're gauging and watching, going, how are we going to respond? We're all going to sit here and go, oh, they're measuring for radiation and because the government's trying to poison and kill us, so they're not telling us anything. Oh, it's a battle between evil extraterrestrials and... Now, I believe all of these realities are possible. All of those are absolutely possible avenues and real worlds that exist, real realities, and you can definitely experience it that way. But now it's about how are you going to respond? Which world will you experience? Because just as real as the world where the government's hiding this shit and it's a poison, they're trying to kill us, or there's whatever, all these negative ideas, and by negative I just mean these ideas that cause separation or break down. As real as that is, why wouldn't it be just as real as, this is preparation for contact for the evolution of humanity as we get closer to becoming one with the other worlds around us, becoming part of a universal alliance as opposed to just a global. Think of the way we think on Earth of, one world. Can we be one world without borders? Well, we're going to go beyond that, folks, and this is preparation for it. And that's the reality that I'm living. So if you're listening to this show, welcome to that reality. That's where we're going, people. I like it, and I want to speak it with confidence. At the same time, I don't want to come off like like I'm telling you what it is exactly, because really, ultimately, how you experience this shift is up to you. But if you understand the 40-year cycles, and we'll get into that later at some point, Roswell, 1947, 40 years, 87, 40 years, 2027. That is what is ahead for us. And I hope to have as many people as possible along for the ride with me. It's a fascinating, wonderful journey that we're heading down. And we're coming to a beautiful, beautiful place. And I hope to welcome in as many people as possible. Now, with all that said, that's where this show is kind of going. So there's a touch on it. I want to have more conversations with other people about these things. So I'm going to be doing some outreach and networking. Believe it or not, I can network. I know I'm a fucked up introvert. I sit here and I journal. You go, this guy, man, what's he do? Just lay around his house, hiding in the shadows, masturbating and talking about bullshit? I'm going to stop probably with a lot of that, even talk, and make this more seriously focused toward questions preparing for contact, questions just about spirit and life after death. This is my favorite subject. What is quote unquote life after death? It's not really that. That'll be the teaser for next year. Next year, we're going to talk all about how there is no such thing as death. That sounds a little nutty, but really it's more, you're dead now. You're more dead now than you are in your true state of spirit. So I look forward to speaking more on that with people and actually have conversations and debates about these things too. I'm not going to go too far into debates and arguments though, because as I've said here, everything is real, everything is possible. This is what other time of year to celebrate this too? Christmas, man. It's Christmas time, or whatever you celebrate. You know, no matter what you celebrate, whatever holidays, whatever rituals, whatever customs, they're all just, they're all just tools. And whatever you're celebrating, however that gets you to a place of appreciation and love for others and joy, camaraderie. Boy, did that sound real Polish. Camaraderie. Comrade. Maybe that's I had a joke pop in my head, but it's probably offensive. I'll cut it. So, listen up, people. Speaking of offensive, I've been talking for a while here now just about the drones. And that's really all I want to get into, man. We are preparing for content. Be excited, people. Be excited. Be happy. Be thrilled. Be ready. Be warned if you want to be. You can go any way you want. It's up to you. And I'm just thrilled to be to know the direction that I'm going, the earth I am experiencing, and will continue to experience. And thankfully, I'm not really preparing to go back to prison. Look, I've never been to prison. I've spent some time. I've spent some time in a cell, for DWIs. That's why DWIs came along and birthed. Like, hey, man, had this place been around, you could have saved me 7 years of probation. Like $25,000, DWIs. Where were you in 2007? Well, anyway, wasn't around. Still isn't around because you people refuse to donate. So I'm going to drop that and bring in this. This is my Christmas carol, the long-awaited, highly anticipated Christmas carol I wrote 20 years ago, probably. I don't know, 15, somewhere in there. But never really recorded it or did anything with it. It's just kind of a goof-around song I always kind of played for myself. But I turned it into a little ditty that I like. And hopefully you enjoy this too. This is, don't take it too seriously, folks. This is called Going Back to Prison for Christmas. Yeah, good eggnog this year. Ain't gonna be no silver bells this year, kiddies. Ain't gonna be no sleigh rides either. I'm going back to prison for Christmas. I'm going back to prison for Christmas. Oh, I'm not doing fine. Been living a lie, but just a little white lie. Now I'm going back to prison for Christmas. I'm going back to prison for Christmas. No, I ain't meeting Jesus Christ. I ain't hanging with St. Nicholas. No, I'm going back to prison for Christmas. Oh, no. Why'd you just bring me a pack of cigarettes this year, baby? You can hide them in your ass. Going back to prison for Christmas. I'm going back to prison for Christmas. No, I ain't meeting Jesus Christ. I ain't hanging with St. Nicholas. Ain't meeting Jesus Christ. I ain't hanging with St. Nick. Ain't meeting Jesus Christ. I ain't hanging with St. Nicholas. No, I'm going back to prison for Christmas. Ooh, shit. Oh, daddy going away for Christmas and Easter. Oh, but I'll be back, baby. I'll be back. Whew. Oh, who is right? There you go, people. There you have it. Merry Christmas. Now, I know, especially if you're someone who's never listened to this show, which hopefully there's a couple, you might be like, man, this is too all over the place. What the hell? Going back to prison for Christmas. What does this have to do with the UAPs and the drones in New Jersey that have the conversation of which took up the bulk of this episode? I'll tie them together. I'll figure out a way. Just and normally I try to have the conversation kind of go into or have at least loosely something to do with the song that I perform on this show, although I haven't been performing one every episode. When I do, that's how I like to do it. But this time I guess I'll tie it in afterwards so we can kind of bring this all home maybe for you. And as I spoke, though, this is the last time I'm going to be speaking live, live, you know what I mean? Last time I'm going to be doing one like this, in that, this is going to be transforming as I spoke about at the start. So next year, this is most likely going to be a different animal. If the Bill Mullane Show continues like this and I still do this shit, it will probably be shorter episodes. Just a song I feel like putting out or something I feel like ranting and journaling about. And if this is the first episode you've heard, then you go back and listen to others and you'll know what I'm talking about. Which you should do anyway, man. There's a lot of gold on there. Speaking of which, I will be bringing next week. So that's why I said this is the last one I'll be doing like this, because next week's just going to be like a compilation. I don't know, maybe I'll find a minute to yell Happy New Year at you or something, but right now I'm not planning on that. So to tie everything together for this episode and possibly the last of this sort of format, I'd like to just say you create your life through your responses. And this New Jersey drone situation, if you see it as a beautiful, welcoming preparation for a new era, a new frequency that you are raising to in order to be even experiencing this, the orbs really being the focal point of it, then you can see that by buying into the ideas that this is some sort of malicious, attack, something that the government is hiding that is nefarious and horrible. If you buy into that, then you are buying into and building your own prison. Boom. See that? Prison is in your mind here, people. And that's the way, if you want to get negative about this, that's the way they want it, right? Isn't that the way the negative entities want this? If there is this shadow, I'll just put it out there like a question, because of course all things are real, as we've spoke about. So of course there's a shadow, negative, government, horrible entities that want to harm you and have nothing but ill will toward you. Of course. So if you want to buy into that and believe that, guess what, people? That's exactly what they want you to do. That's what a negative, controlling entity would want. They want your mind controlled. They want you in a prison. They want you to believe, yeah, we're hiding things from you. God, we're hiding things. We're going to round you all up and put you into camps and kill you. They've been saying that for decades. And I guess it's real for some people. So if you want to experience it that way, it is your choice. But hopefully listening to this show starts to feel like it's not a choice anymore. That's really the place I want to put you, the place I want to have you, the palm of my hand thinking, I have no choice. I have to hear what he says next. Every word out of this man's mouth is a gift, a present for Christmas. And that's where I'll leave it off, people. Thank you so much for tuning in all year long, those who've listened, which is probably like, I don't know, my mother. So thanks, Ma. I appreciate that. The old man, maybe. I had my closest friend there. He was listening. He let it be known that he's like, I kind of stopped listening around episode 20. Hey, thanks, bud. Yeah, I appreciate the first several listens, though. That's cool. But, hey, hopefully you enjoyed this. If not, tell me in the comments. If you have, be like, Bill, please keep doing some of the journaling and music. I do love that. You can do whatever you want with this preparing for contact, alien shit, whatever you're talking about. But keep bringing me this. Let me know, and I'll keep bringing them to you. Sure, I'll keep recording my crazy thoughts and songs. You got it. But if you're interested too in preparing for contact, and if your mind is open to that type of thing, well then stay tuned. I've got more gifts for you. Christmas is all year next year. Thank you so much for listening. Like, subscribe if you dig this. If you dig the shit I'm talking about doing. And if you're a big football fan, make sure to check out the DFL podcast. We're doing video now, so I'll link that in the description below. And yeah, if you the horror stories. God, I'm doing a lot of shit. I'm getting into marketing here too, and with the AI training. And you know what? I make my time. It's okay. I am still bringing you the horror stories, not just those 4 or 6 there were all together. I'm not just going to drop those on you and leave you, abandon you, So don't worry. That will be kicking up too. Stay tuned for that. There will be announcements in the future. Hey, people. Enjoy yourselves. Go. Live your life. Be with your loved ones. Appreciate your existence. Stay present in the moment. When you're unwrapping your presents on Christmas, or if you don't have any and you're giving presents, whatever you're doing, stay present. Stay in the now. Be thankful. Enjoy this beautiful holiday season. And I won't see you next week. I will bring you a show, but I am going to see you next year. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Gosh damn, I gotta go. Oh my good gosh damn. No, I don't know. Oh my good gosh damn, I gotta go. Oh my good gosh damn, no, I don't know. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh.
DFL, bitch.